Hello and welcome to Cinema Chat. My name's Andrew Gospe.
And I'm Robert Frankel. We're two Weekender staff writers for The Daily, and today we'll be reviewing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
This is the first part in the 7th installment of J.K. Rowling's massively successful fantasy series. Rob, your thoughts on the film?
I'll be honest, Andrew, I found Part 1 to be a little disappointing. I came off of The Half-Blood Prince really excited for where the series was going because I never actually finished the novels myself as a reader. And so, seeing the film, I became really interested in the world and really kind of stoked as to where it was going. But Part 1 felt really a little bit disappointing to me, and even in some cases quite boring.
I wouldn't go as far as to call it boring, but there were definitely some moments where the plot dragged, especially an extended middle sequence of the film where Harry, Ron, and Hermione are on the run from Voldemort and the Death Eaters, and they're journeying through the woods and various portions of the English countryside.
Almost moping exclusively throughout.
Exactly.
How did you feel that the film as a whole kind of went?
Well, I felt like it was a lot of build-up. I mean, granted, the big climax of the story is going to happen in the second part of the movie. But there was lots of exposition, lots of explaining plot points.
Right. They kept going in circles, sort of chasing their tails. And I don't know if that was actually part of the book or not, but it just felt so redundant and so over and over again.
And I have read the books, and to a certain degree it is part of the book, but it's a part of the book that doesn't translate quite as well to the screen. But to be fair to the movie, most of the people who are going to see this are going to be maybe not die-hard Harry Potter fans, but at least familiar enough with the series where it won't be an issue for them.
Be that as it may, don't you find it a bit lenient to let the film off on that note? After all, the Harry Potter film series is in a spot no other film series has been in before, where they can just literally jump right into the action because they've had 6 films to develop these characters. There's nothing stopping them from actually doing what the film set out to do and not just give a whole bunch of rising action before the ultimate battle.
Yeah, that's true. And I thought that the focus on character development, especially in the middle part of the film, was a bit strange, given that we know these characters pretty well already. It especially manifests itself in this supposed sexual tension that's supposed to arise between Harry, played by Daniel Radcliffe, and Hermione, played by Emma Watson.
I was never aware that there was actually intention to be had between the two. To be honest, if Radcliffe and Watson had sold it a little bit better, maybe it would have been a bit more believable.
Yeah, and I think that was mostly on Watson. She looked pretty disinterested for most of this movie.
She's probably just looking forward to getting to Brown.
Yeah, definitely.
Having said that, though, I've never actually had an issue with the casting or the actual acting. I found that Radcliffe, Watson, and Grint being the weakest link of the three, have been for the most part adequate for their roles. However, I felt that the acting was a bit spottier in this film than in, say, Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, I could see that. And Daniel Radcliffe seems to make up for this by appearing shirtless in a good 75% of the movie.
Not that much. It's just that he's shirtless more than once when more than one of him are shirtless. And for those of you who've read the book or seen the movie, it would be understandable.
And it's not really necessary. I mean, the dude's pretty pale.
We're almost out of time, Andrew. If you had to, and as we're going to have to, would you recommend this to a person on the street who's interested in seeing the film?
I think that it's entertaining enough that it will hold people's attention. And honestly, my recommendation is not going to carry that much weight. You know, people are going to come out in droves to see this movie.
Nothing we say is going to stop you all from lining up at midnight to see the film, so a bit disappointing on the whole, but I think maybe there's enough momentum for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 to redeem the series. That's all for Cinema Chat. I'm Robert Frankel.
And I'm Andrew Gospe.